James, the day after tomorrow is finally Dylan's wedding. You're coming, right?
Of course, ma'am. Since several of our business partners will also be in attendance, I've arranged full security coverage. And having looked after Master Dylan since he was a baby, I'm truly overjoyed to be part of this day.
I really don't know what I would have done without you. Losing my husband so early, having to raise Dylan on my own, but running the company kept me away from home so often.
That was simply the reality of your situation, ma'am. But you always made sure Master Dylan didn't feel lonely. Every day after school, you had him come study in your office at headquarters.
Still, I couldn't be there for him the way a parent should be. I always felt guilty about that. You stepping in as his tutor was a lifesaver, and you were already running security for the whole company on top of that.
Children have a remarkable capacity to absorb knowledge. Teaching him was a genuine pleasure. And now that same boy is getting married. I confess I may shed a tear or two.
Don't let him see you cry. He'll never let you live it down.
Ha! I would expect nothing less from him. He has your composure, ma'am.
He has your stubbornness, if we're being honest.
I will neither confirm nor deny that.
Look forward to the ceremony, then. Dylan mentioned he'd love for you to sit in the family section, actually.
I'm afraid that wouldn't be appropriate. I am, at the end of the day, his former tutor.
He doesn't see it that way, you know. And neither do you. Don't pretend you don't think of him as your own son.
What I think of him privately and what is proper in a formal setting are two different matters.
You are the most stubborn man I have ever employed.
I learned from the most stubborn woman I've ever worked for.
Fair enough. But there's something that's been nagging at me.
Oh, what's that?
Rebecca, the bride. A while back, when the phrase single parent came up in conversation, she made a face, a very obvious one. I think she may have some kind of bias there. It's not entirely surprising, but...
If it showed on her face like that, something must have happened to her. People don't carry that kind of reaction without a reason behind it.
That's what I keep telling myself. Growing up in a certain environment can make some things very hard to accept, which is exactly why I'd like to gently try to shift that perspective over time. But I don't want to come on too strong and be seen as a difficult mother-in-law. It's a delicate balance.
Have you tried speaking with her directly? Before the wedding, I mean.
I've tried. She's polite enough on the surface, but there's always this wall. Every time I reach toward her, she takes a small step back. I don't want to push.
Everything comes down to communication, ma'am. Without a willingness to meet in the middle, nothing can ever truly begin.
You're right. I just hope the wedding goes smoothly. Dylan has been so happy these past few months. I don't want anything to overshadow that.
It will go smoothly, ma'am. I will make certain of it.
I know you will. You always do. Rebecca, I heard you're managing the guest seating today. It seems there may have been a mix-up. I don't appear to have a seat assigned. What should I do? Today is such an important day for my son, and I don't want to make a scene. I just want to quietly watch and celebrate. Could you help me sort this out?
Wow, aren't you a little bold asking for a seat like that? A single mom expecting special treatment? That's pretty rich.
I'm sorry?
You should be grateful we even invited you, honestly.
What on earth are you saying?
I've been holding this in forever. I really don't want someone like you celebrating this day. Single parents are basically bad luck, you know. The symbol of failure. Like, no offense, but...
Hold on. Yes, I'm a single parent, but my husband passed away from illness.
Oh, sure he did. That's such a convenient story. More like he left you and you're too embarrassed to admit it, right? So transparent.
Transparent?
Look, honestly, I didn't want to invite you at all. But I mean, not inviting the groom's own mother looks bad for us, so here we are.
Not having a seat for the groom's mother is what looks bad. Any reasonable person would see that.
Anyway, I don't want to think of you as family, okay? My parents run their own company. Associating with some struggling single mom as family, not a chance. So, please stop talking to me. It's creepy.
You're the person my son chose. For you to suddenly act like this. There must be a reason. Did I do something to upset you without realizing? Whatever it is, can you please just tell me? I'd really like to understand.
The reason is that you're a single parent. That's it. Single parents are all the same. Petty, selfish, and pathetic.
How can you say that? That's a blanket prejudice.
It's not a prejudice. I have been personally hurt by a single parent.
What?
I was bullied when I was a kid because my family had money. Oh, your notebook got ruined? Big deal. Your parents will just buy you another one. That kind of thing.
That's a terrible thing to go through.
It was so much worse than that. I was so angry I looked into the ringleader. Turned out she came from a single-parent home, and the bullying, it was her mother who put her up to it.
That's horrifying.
I could almost live with that, but then the mother told the teacher, rich kids deserve to get pushed around a little. I heard it myself. After that, I decided all single-parent households were like that, so I made a rule for myself. I would never get involved with a single parent again. And then I find out Dylan's mom is one? I cannot forgive that!
I understand why that experience shaped you. I truly do. No child should have to go through what you went through. That was wrong, and I'm sorry it happened to you. But I haven't bullied you. I have no intention of ever doing so. If at any point in the future I do something that genuinely hurts you, I'll give you space. I promise. But can we at least try not to judge each other before we've even started? Can we just talk?
You're just trying to manipulate me, aren't you? Do you think I'm naive enough to fall for that?
I'm not manipulating anyone. I just want to celebrate my son's wedding. And honestly, if I'm not present, things could get complicated.
Oh, shut up! I don't want your celebration! I don't want to see your face. It's bad luck!
So, nothing I say will get through to you.
I'm not listening to anything a nobody like you has to say.
Fine. Then I'm done trying to be reasonable. I came here willing to be patient and find common ground, and this is what I get.
Family embarrassments can stand in the back.
Fine, I will.
Wow, she actually agreed.
If I can see my son's happy day from back there, that's enough. That's why I came. James, I need to tell you something before you hear it from someone else.
Of course, ma'am. What is it?
It turns out there's no seat for me. I'll be standing in the back.
I beg your pardon?
Rebecca made it very clear. She doesn't want me seated with the guests.
Ma'am, that is... I'm struggling to find the appropriate words.
I imagine you'll be surprised, James. That's why I'm telling you now. But please, don't intervene. And obviously, don't say anything to Dylan.
Ma'am, with all due respect, that's far too gracious a response, making the groom's mother stand. That kind of disrespect simply cannot be overlooked.
I know, and I haven't forgiven it. But if I make a fuss about being mistreated, it'll cause a far bigger scene, won't it?
You are thinking of Master Dillon.
Always. Today is his day, not mine.
You have never once put yourself first, not in all the years I have known you.
Don't make me sound saintly. I'm making a strategic decision.
Of course, ma'am. Understood. In that case, I'll be making a small adjustment to my speech.
What? No, James, you don't have to do anything.
I am, personally, extremely angry. This is something I want to do. I had been so genuinely happy for Master Dillon's wedding. For things to have come to this, I find it deeply, deeply disappointing.
James, whatever you're planning, be precise. Don't be cruel.
I will only state the facts, ma'am. Every single one of them.
All right, I trust you.
You always have, and you have never had reason to regret it.
Hey, what did you do to my parents?
Do? I haven't done anything. I haven't even spoken to them.
Don't play dumb. The second they saw you, they went completely white. You threatened them somehow, didn't you?
That's quite an accusation. I did exactly what I promised. I stood in the back of the room. I actually tried to stay out of the way so as not to disrupt anything. Thanks to that, I was still able to watch my son's moment. I'm genuinely grateful to have been invited.
Just standing there wouldn't make my parents react like that!
You're probably right. I haven't done anything today, but I can think of a reason.
Ha! So you admit it!
Think about it. If a business partner of yours was invited to a wedding and made to stand the entire time, wouldn't you be alarmed?
Wait, what? Business partner? CEO?
We're still in the middle of the ceremony. Let's save unrelated conversations for later. Isn't it time for your outfit change? I'm looking forward to seeing how beautiful you look.
What was that toast?
Rebecca, why are you texting me? Aren't you in the middle of the reception?
I'm typing under the table. Forget that. That speech. Why didn't you give a toast? And who even was that man?
That's James, the man who raised Dillon. I was originally scheduled to give a toast, but you'd made it clear my being a single parent made you uncomfortable. So I asked him to step in last minute. I didn't want to ruin such a joyful occasion for you.
Because you didn't go up, the guest section is buzzing. People are confused.
Well, naturally. Several of my company's executives are seated among your guests. They know I'm Dillon's mother. Of course they're unsettled.
Because of your guests talking, my guests now know you're the mother too.
Ah, so your side hadn't been told. That makes sense. No one would expect the groom's mother to be standing at the back. It's not exactly standard.
Now the whole atmosphere is off and it's your fault! And why do your executives even know who you are?
I answered that already.
Wait, are you actually a CEO? Like, for real?
Yes, for real. And as it happens, I do business with your parents. I've been asked by several staff members if I'd like to take a seat, but since you instructed me to stand, I'll remain standing.
Hold on, I didn't know you were someone important.
If you hadn't known who I was, would making the groom's mother stand have been acceptable by your standards? Regardless of who I am, nothing justifies treating someone this way. Rebecca, is something wrong? You've suddenly retreated to the back room. Dylan is very worried about you. As for why I was standing, I intended to say nothing until after the ceremony, but it seems the speech made it rather public. Dylan is, shall we say, furious.
You're the one who let it all come out. Because of that man's speech, I can't go back out there.
James gave an accurate account of the situation. He explained that the bride, who dislikes single parents and does not wish to consider them family, nonetheless graciously permitted the attendance of Catherine, CEO of Ring Group, who proceeded to stand through her own son's wedding so as not to cause the bride any discomfort. He went on to say that, under those circumstances, he would be delivering the toast in her place. None of that was untrue, was it?
Because of that speech, guests were staring at me. I'm the bride. This is my day. And my parents look like they've seen a ghost. And Dylan won't listen to a single word I say. He just keeps demanding explanations. What was I supposed to do but run? Dylan won't hear me out. He's already made up his mind. This is so unfair.
Your words did reach him. He heard every one of them. He simply can't understand them. Rebecca, you suffered a real and terrible trauma in your past. I don't deny that. And perhaps it's understandable that it made you wary of me. But that trauma does not justify what you did today. It cannot excuse it. Your parents have already apologized to me quite sincerely, by the way. They told me this was entirely your doing.
They're throwing me under the bus? They told me I could plan the wedding however I wanted.
No one is going to take your side here because you are the one in the wrong.
That's not...
Listen to me. I understand your trauma, truly, but judging people based on past wounds has to stop. Because it can cost you everything. It's not too late. If you apologize to me now, sincerely, we may still be able to salvage something from this day.
Ma'am, how are you holding up?
I'm fine, James. Thank you for asking.
I want you to know what I said at the reception. I stand behind every word, but I am sorry it added to the chaos of the day.
Don't apologize. You said exactly what needed to be said. If anything, I'm glad it came from you. It carried more weight than it would have from me.
Master Dylan called me last night. He was not well.
I know. I spoke with him too. He's heartbroken, not just angry.
He keeps saying he should have noticed sooner. He blames himself.
I told him the same thing I'll tell you. This is not his fault. He loved someone. That is not a flaw.
You are far more generous than most would be.
He's my son. My job is to help him through this, not to add to his guilt. But I do need your help with something else.
Anything, ma'am.
James, I need you to conduct a thorough investigation into Rebecca's family's company, Yamashita Trading.
Of course, ma'am. I'll have both the intelligence and legal teams working at full capacity. No detail will be overlooked. I must ask, after everything that happened at the wedding, has Rebecca actually given you a proper apology?
She said the words at the venue, but it was purely performative. She was just trying to smooth things over in the moment. What Rebecca did is unforgivable. But if someone raised to look down on single parents and humiliate them at a wedding comes from a family that built a business, I have to ask, is that a business I can truly trust? I need to find out.
Naturally, if we look closely enough, I suspect we'll find something worth knowing. It has always struck me as unusual that Yamashita Trading's numbers have been so inconsistent for a company of their size.
You noticed that too.
I make it my business to notice things, ma'am, especially when it concerns people close to Master Dillon.
Had you looked into them before the wedding?
A surface review, yes, nothing that raised immediate flags, but I did not dig deep. I wish now that I had.
Don't. We work with what we knew then. Now we know more.
Leave it to me, ma'am. I'll get to the bottom of it.
This is outrageous! You're cutting ties with my parents' company over a personal grudge? This is completely unjust! Unjust!
You mocked me and humiliated me for being a single mother, and now you want to lecture me?
Business and personal life are supposed to stay separate!
They did stay separate. This decision is the result of that separation. The wedding was merely what prompted me to look more closely. The environment that produced someone willing to humiliate a guest at a wedding. That environment includes the home she grew up in. Which meant I had a reason to examine whether her parents run their company the same way they raised their daughter.
An investigation? Into what?
Primarily, a review of standard business practices and compliance. Your parents' company, Yamashita Trading, has been underperforming for several years. As a business partner, I have a responsibility to assess whether the relationship is still viable.
You were looking for a reason to hurt us. Admit it!
I was looking for the truth. There's a difference, and the investigation revealed the root cause of that underperformance. A workplace culture of harassment and intimidation driven by management.
Harassment? My parents?
Multiple former employees provided statements. The pattern was consistent and well documented. You had me standing at my son's wedding and barely felt you'd done anything wrong, didn't you?
That's completely different.
Is it? You treated me the way your parents treat the people beneath them. I don't think it's different at all. That's exactly how workplace abusers operate. They rarely recognize their own behavior for what it is. They don't realize that how they treat people degrades performance, and ultimately destroys the very company they built. It's terribly sad.
I can't believe this!
You accused me moments ago of letting personal feelings influence a business decision, but this is a purely professional judgment. My personal emotions are not a factor. I have a duty to protect my own employees and partners from working with an organization that may subject them to mistreatment.
Wait, your company is critical to my parents' business. Pulling out will devastate them!
Yes, I imagine so. Your parents came to see me in person and apologized immediately. I gave them the same answer. This decision is based on the findings of our investigation. Full stop. Whether or not we resume business with Yamashita Trading will depend entirely on the changes they make going forward.
What kind of changes? Tell me what they need to do!
That is a conversation for your parents to have with my legal team, not with you.
You're enjoying this!
I'm not. There is no satisfaction in watching a family destroy itself. But I will not apologize for protecting my company and the people who work for it.
Please, I need to speak with Dillon. Please!
Can't you reach him by phone? Why come to me?
He's blocked me. I call and he tells me to go through his lawyer, then hangs up.
After what happened at the wedding, is that really surprising? Dillon was deeply hurt by what you did.
I'm going to lose him. Please do something.
Personally, I'm in full support of the engagement being called off. I don't want someone who would make his own mother stand at her son's wedding to become my daughter-in-law. Dylan is not the kind of person who can simply move on from someone using him as an excuse to hurt his mother.
I love him. I genuinely do.
I don't doubt that you have feelings for him, but love without respect causes damage, Rebecca. You loved Dylan and still chose to humiliate his mother in front of everyone who matters to him.
I made a mistake. One mistake. People make mistakes.
They do, and people also face consequences for them.
Please, just let me talk to him.
Coming to me with your head down now won't change anything. I know exactly who you are. And let's be honest, the reason you're so desperate to stop the engagement from ending is that you'd be responsible for covering the full cost of the wedding, isn't it? In lieu of a formal breakup settlement.
How do you know about that?
Did you forget? I'm his mother. Of course I hired the best attorney available to make sure Dylan is protected.
So this is just about money for you?
No, it is about my son. It has always only been about my son. Your parents have lost a major client, and now the harassment findings are accelerating the decline. You're personally on the hook for the full wedding bill. That's quite a mountain of debt you're looking at.
We're going to be out on the street. Please help us. I'll do anything.
An apology now is far too late. If you had been willing to talk when I first reached out to you, none of this would have happened.
You can't mean that. You can't really be this cold.
I am not cold. I am a mother, and my son was hurt. This is the consequence of your own choices. Consider it an expensive lesson.
Please forgive me. I know I was wrong. Please, I'm begging you.
I've been briefed by my attorney. It seems the financial judgment has been finalized. Between the legal fees piling up and the debt from the settlement, I also hear your parents have pushed you out of the family company entirely.
How? How do you know about that?
Because your parents came to me and proposed cutting you off entirely in exchange for resuming our business relationship.
They were going to abandon me to save themselves?
That's what it amounts to, yes, but don't worry. I have no interest in doing business with people who would throw their own child away without ensuring she had the chance to make things right. The answer was still no.
I have $35,000 in debt from the wedding costs. I've lost my job. I'm barely surviving. I've never lived like this before. I can't take it anymore. Please forgive me.
Rebecca, sometimes a single mistake is enough to lose everything. When you judge the world only by your own standards, you will get burned. And you didn't only hurt me, you hurt my son. Neither of us will ever forgive you for that. Dylan has said he wants nothing to do for the rest of his life with someone who made his mother stand at his own wedding. A person who has no respect for a parent has no right to expect happiness. Rebecca ended up working night jobs to pay off her debt, but the stress and poverty made everything harder, and the debt only kept growing. Her parents' company eventually collapsed entirely. The family is now struggling under a crushing weight of shared debt. With no clear path forward, word of what happened spread through their industry, making any kind of recovery nearly impossible. Meanwhile, Catherine continues to run her company as she always has, and has dinner with Dylan every single week. I can't believe I almost married someone who would do that to you, Dylan still says, shaking his head with a wry smile. James, for his part, sometimes mutters that he should have seen the warning signs sooner, but in the same breath says he's never been more proud of Catherine, and that, at the least, the whole episode showed the world exactly what kind of person she is. A single parent who raises her child right will always have a real family by her side.